What's going on, everybody? You know, somebody sent me a message the other day and they said, "Hey, have you done a shop tour since you moved?" And I was like, you know what? I haven't really done that. So let's take a walk around. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna do this and shoot it. And so a lot of people ask me about this barrier that's in my shop that's hanging from my ceiling. And this is something I actually made. It's just a backdrop for taking photos and whatnot. And I actually made this. You know, I had reached out and got some quotes for a mechanical screen for, you know, fabrication shops. And a lot of them were like $600. And I didn't want to spend that. So I bought a $60 tarp and used some aluminum tubing that is suspended from the ceiling on 1/8" cables. And then one at the bottom. So it has some weight to pull on it. But behind this is some of my other equipment that I don't use every day. So I got my tubing bender, my horizontal bandsaw, and my bead roll unit. And that's pretty much what stays behind there all the time. So works out really, really well for what I need, you know. The other piece of equipment, this thing I like to show people once in a while, is this is my early 1900s Champion Forge drill press. And it's pretty awesome. I was able to finally get the knee free, and so it will go up and down now. The only thing I need to do to this to get it running is add a motor, which I plan on doing. So look for that video on that in the near future. I'm going to get that thing running. So one of the other items that's pretty cool is my Limco 400A. So this is my Limco 400A. It's a 60-ton press. The actual head assembly, I'll do this, got some pressure on it. So the actual press head moves side to side on a rack, and that's what makes it kind of interesting. This company actually went out of business in the 40s or 50s, and they're kind of hard to come by. I drove almost 5 hours to go get this thing. Call it a recovery business that does like semi-recovery had it for, and they used it just for pressing kingpins mainly out of front steer axles in semis. And they were shutting down shop and moving to Florida, so they needed to sell it. So I got a hold of it. Then I got this little 20-ton Harbor Freight press, which most of you probably have out there. But let's see. Well, let's walk over here. Let's check out some other stuff. Okay, so this is my 3-phase buffer, and it's like I want to say this is 1 horse. Yeah, 1 horse, 3-phase. Works pretty amazing. This is my Atlas 20-inch disc sander. This thing's pretty sweet, from similar era as the press. It's been fully restored, and I think it's even powered on right now. Nope, no it's not. Never mind. Vertical belt sand, my ESOB 235, which is my go-to wire unit. This does have TIG capability, but I don't really like to use it because I don't think it works very good. Everlast unit, that thing works amazing. But one of the other ones, the other piece of equipment that's pretty awesome, this is my Chicago box and pan brake, and this will do 1/8 inch at 96 inches wide. And the cool thing about this is, well, it came from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And to say the Upper Peninsula, I mean, it was like throw stones at Canada. We were way up there. It took almost 4 or 5 months of planning to get to where I could pull the trigger and get somebody up there to figure out how we were going to get it out of there, because it was in a machine shed. And the guy, how he loaded it was he had a neighbor that used, he had a neighbor that hauled logs and had a logging business. So he had an end loader with forks that they used to pick it up. So, and it was a humongous end loader. So interesting story. Took a lot to get it out of there, but it's out. One of the cool things about, so the old top bridge on this one has little motors on it that are in the back, and the whole top bridge moves front to back to adjust for material thickness. And it's got some other things you can adjust. So like the adjustments down here, this is how you adjust like how much brake angle you're going to have. And you pretty much break this loose, change the stop angle, and then lock it back down. It just hits a little switch there that stops the brake motor. And then, yeah, that's what I use to pretty much bend up all my tanks. So works amazing for that. All right, here's the next item. Niagara Shear. It's a 4-foot shear, 12 gauge capacity in steel, and works amazing. It'll do a 1/4 inch in aluminum. And that's as hard as I've really pushed it. Done some small pieces of 3/8 aluminum in it, and it does that just fine. And then the Kaiser Johnson bandsaw. Now this is the one that has the traveling table. So the table travels, and it has T-slots on it so you can bolt stuff down, cut it. That's pretty awesome. So this is kind of the OG of my equipment. I got this when I was in my 20s, and I've had it, you know, forever almost, it feels like. But, you know, a lot of people ask me about equipment and getting equipment and all that. And the funny part is, like, you know, I didn't start out with like all this equipment, obviously. You know, I started out with a TIG welder and learning SolidWorks. And then Fusion kind of came around. I worked with Fusion, and that's pretty much how it all started. But one of the big pieces of equipment I finally added to the shop this year was the Multicam Router. I was outsourcing cutting and whatnot, and it just came to the point where I just had to have it in-house. So this is a 7x12, or sorry, 7x10 unit. It has 11 position tool rack in the back and a 10 horsepower spindle. It has some interesting things that Multicam does for programming, but nothing out of the ordinary as far as, excuse me, nothing out of the ordinary you can't overcome. It's just, you got to kind of know the machine. So, and last but not least, forky. Got to have a forklift. So that's pretty much the shop tour. The shop itself is like 2,000 square feet and not real big, but does everything that I need it to do, and that's all I want. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and take it easy.